Hi, I'm Hillary, and I want to welcome to the inaugural video of my new channel, Lazy Lima Life. That's my only channel. Um, yeah. Anyway, Lazy Lima Life will be a craft DIY channel with all sorts of crafty goodness because I do all sorts of crafty goodness. I'll also be learning some new things. So we'll be covering rubber stamping and card making. We'll be doing maybe some sewing, maybe even some baking, who knows. I thought I'd put together this little introductory video to kind of give you a little Hillary backstory, tell you a little bit about me, because I'm awesome 90% of the time. Anyway, yeah, so sit back and enjoy, and I'll show you some of my projects, and we'll have a good time. I've been making things pretty much my whole life. You know, anything that had to do with like creating something, painting or drawing or knitting or crocheting. I started crocheting when I was like 7. And I made my 8th grade photo sweater. It was red and white crochet. I'll have to see if I can find a picture. Maybe my mom has it. Yeah, it had a giant cowl neck. Anyway, it was awesome. Or not. But recently, like probably in the last 10 years, I've just learned to knit, which I've been trying for like a million years, and I could never quite get it because I learned to crochet first. So this is one of my luxury knits. I love this thing. It is the Kiri shawl, Kiri. If you do a search for it, Kiri shawl pattern, you can find it. I'll link to it. This is the most expensive skein of yarn I've ever purchased. It was $50 and it was 550 yards. It's mostly rayon. If you can see, it's got like little metallic, it shops through with some metallic threads, and so that's really fun. Can you see? Yeah, okay. And it was a fun project. It took me probably about 8 or 10 days. Maybe I'll tell the story behind that one day. But it was a lot of fun. And I didn't, at the time, I think when I did this in 2008, I didn't think I could knit like this. And I just followed the instructions and step by step, knit, purl, yarn over, good to go. I also wrote for the now defunct Expression magazine. I still miss it. I miss you. If you never saw this magazine, take my word, it was everything that was great. It showcased artisans and all sorts of crafts and media. Maybe this channel can kind of help bring some of this back, you think? I'm thinking, let's give it a try. I've also done a lot of jewelry. Usually what I sell in my store and at craft shows is jewelry. That's jewelry and cards is mostly what I sell. When I was working at Nordstrom back in the 80s, yeah, the 80s, you remember those? They had these Swarovski crystal earrings that I just loved, and they were ridiculously expensive. I mean, they were like, some of them were like $200, and they would have like 3 or 4 hanging crystals from them, and you know, and they had to be clipped, so it wasn't like they were on, you know, solid gold posts or anything, because they were so heavy. They had to, most of them had to be clip-on, and they had, they were just, you know, different colors, and they were so vibrant, and I really wanted a pair, but I didn't want to spend $200 even with my employee discount. I thought that was crazy pants. So I had to source the materials, and it took a while because there was no internet. So how did we do anything? How do we even walk out of the house without the internet? I don't even understand that, because God knows I can't find anything without Waze. So anyway, these were the earrings that were similar to the ones they sold at Nordstrom. Sorry, they keep moving there so you can See that? It was the ones I liked were the 3 crystals hanging, and you can see they were connected by a tab. But that is simple. That is super simple, and that does not, to me, I'm sorry, $200. Don't make me freaking laugh. So I found a source for the gems in San Diego, and they turned out to be like, I think this one might have been like $6.25 or $6.75, and the other ones were like maybe $3 or $4. Double that, and yeah, much less than $200, much less. So I would go down like every month or so and buy more crystals and make more earrings. And pretty soon I started to just have fun with them and not just put, 3 crystals in a row. Like these, I think are quite clever. I have a crystal in the center, and these are Swarovski crystals, as too. I have a Spanish or Mexican coin, probably Mexican because I lived in San Diego at the time. Says 5 centavos. And then I got a little camel, and this is bone camel. I don't know if you can see that, but I thought these are awfully clever, and I think they've held up well, and they still look kind of fabulous. Yay. So that kind of got me into doing things. Actually, that's what got me into selling things, was these earrings, because I kept making them, and I only have the 2 ears. So it was, I had like 20 pairs of crystal earrings, and like that was silly. So I started selling them at craft fairs and at work, and I've done a lot of cards, some that are fancy, most that are not, but wow, is that awesome? It's got a front and back. It's like map, kind of abstract, but I love these little circles. I've also done ones like this. I like interesting backgrounds. That's what really appeals to me. There's that one as well. I've also done some books. These are 2 of my books. These are little tiny books. Look, it says, "We Notebook for Big Ideas." Oh my God, that's so cute. And it's a little band. And you open it up. And I was really surprised because I carried one of these in my purse for like probably about a year, and it held up really well. Even the little doodad didn't fall off like I thought it would. I've also done padded books, which we're definitely doing. We're definitely doing padded books here on Lazy Lima Life. Nice stamping on the front. I love this blue Italian paper. It's like a Florentine. The Italian papers are my favorites. They just are. There's also some linen binding, because when I was packing some stuff up, I have like 17 rolls of waxed linen. What the heck? I don't remember buying it. I hope I got it at like a garage sale or something. I can't imagine I was like at a store paying full price, because again, with the crazy pants. But there are 2 signatures in this, and this I just whipped up one night. And I've also done wooden boxes. I think I did this in a class, because I don't own these stamps, so that's my thinking. But it's a little seascape, and the bottom is done with a shell. And I know we had to put these little feet on. We had to glue them, but they're stamped and painted as well, and everything's colored in with colored pencil. I love colored pencil. And my favorite little sea animal, the seahorse, right there in the center, inside, guarding my treasures. Except there's no treasures, because I just found it in a box when I moved, and had forgotten all about it. Oopsie. This is a purse that I did. It's so funny because I just winged this. I knew I wanted to make a purse, and I knew that I wanted it to be like wool. So I had gone to the Salvation Army and found an old wool skirt, and it made me feel really good because I'm like, oh, it's a size 8, that'll work. So I bought the skirt and I took it apart and I took out the lining and saved that for another. I think I put the lining in another purse, but this has quilt fabric, bright orange. And I kind of winged this shape. I knew I wanted this shape. So then I decided at the last minute that I wanted to put a pocket on. I hadn't constructed it yet, or sewn the. I don't think I'd sewn the lining in yet because it's nicely hidden. But I decided to put a pocket, this pocket actually on, and there were two things I didn't like. This sitting just on this because it just looked boring and blah, and it wasn't big enough to hold, I think, my cell phone at the time. This was before I had a smartphone. So I put this piece against it so that it would have some color interest and it would have some more pockets and that were deeper. But in doing that, I did not look at where I was attaching it. And so it's off center, but it holds a lot. This pocket holds a freaking paperback. That's what I mean. So yeah, that's, I think those are all my goodies. So I'm really excited about Lazy Lima Life. I hope you are too. We're gonna do some fun projects. It's gonna be an adventure. You're gonna have to be patient with me on the video process because yeah, I just knocked the whole setup down just a couple of seconds ago. So we're gonna have to learn a better way to do things on that front. Cover a lot of different topics. We'll go from artist trading cards to Zentangles. A to Z. See what I did there? This is the kind of cleverness you are in store for, my friend. So I hope you're sitting down.